Dr. Jesse. I've been hearing a lot of news stories, and even in this committee, where members say, well, the VA lied to me. Now, I don't think the VA is, most people at the VA are intentionally lying, but I want to encourage you to have as much open dialogue as possible, because with that transparency, we can meet our mutual goal of helping veterans. I have a good relationship with Isabel Duff at the Southern Nevada VA health system, and we talk regularly, meet regularly. I would encourage that at all your facilities or areas. Second, I would like to join Ms. Brownlee in the request for information. When you find out about where Oxnard is on the priority list and what's happening there, would you also look at Pahrump and Laughlin? Those are two areas where you've got CBOCs that we've been waiting for some update on. If you could get that back to me, I'd sure appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And then the third question, I'd like to go back to what the ranking member was talking about, the VISNs and the restructuring or realignment of that whole system. I know you've realigned the headquarters, and you said it was an ongoing process to look at the realignment of the areas. Just to give you an example of how this doesn't seem to make much sense, my district is Las Vegas, and so the constituents there are part of the Desert Pacific Healthcare Network. Now, this ranges from rural Nevada to central California all the way down to the Mexican border. And the state of Nevada is split into 3 different VISNs. Surely we could try to bring a little more order to that regional division. Are y'all doing that? Is that part of considering?
That's the next step. Is when the VISNs were originally set up, and brilliantly so, I might add, they were built to provide an equity both in numbers of populations, so they were all roughly to be the same size. Obviously, the geographies were quite different, but also to follow the logical local referral patterns. Right? So if a small facility is referring to a big facility, you wouldn't want to split them up and put them into 2 different VISNs. And so that's the way it was originally built. It's been modified once. If you remember, VISN 13 and 14 became VISN 23. But we're relooking that because clearly the referral patterns have changed. Clearly the demographics have changed.
Right.
And it needs to be relooked at. It also does need to be relooked at in terms of the overall structure. If we don't examine every one of our assumptions today, then we're not going to get to where we need to be. So we have to question, are 21 VISNs the right number? Are the structures the right number? Are the referral patterns the right number? And that needs to be done.
Is there a timetable for doing this, or it's just
Well, I think any timetable we had has probably changed. Truth be told, because I think, particularly what you heard today, and frankly, many of the ideas that were discussed in the first panel are things that we've actually been looking deeply into. But I would hate to say that we're going to put out a plan to change the VISN lines, because today we really need to be relooking at the entire structure of the organization moving forward. So I apologize, that's not a solid answer, but I think the more important statement is that we will examine everything.
Well, I hope when you do, you'll consider potential changes in the future, like demographic changes and growth especially, because the hospital in Las Vegas, you anticipated there'd be a 2% increase in demand on the system when that hospital was built. It's a 19% increase. I think the veteran population is going to grow generally. It's certainly going to grow in Las Vegas now that the economy is coming back. So we don't want it to be a snapshot in time. We want it to have that projected growth as part of the formula when you realign these areas.
And as that hospital was put together, there was great thought going into how the primary care base was going to be distributed around it, and I hope that's meeting some of that need as well.
Thank you. I'll yield back.